It's Christmas and it just so happened to be the day I start these community services. Why not give some festive decorations along, damn it. Now I'm locked up here. It's not my fault my hands are so heavy, it's just their schools were really fragile. And why arrest me so quickly? I'm far not the only one with metal hands, and they couldn't connect any previous cases until this one. Well, I guess I do have anger issues. Should've went with a pipe. Definitely a pipe. Kek. Well, I guess I'm stuck here now, for God knows how long. So, what should I do in this place? It's pretty crammed in here. Post-industrial age, history preservation museum. I guess I do like history, but why do I have to be isolated in the basement during the night shift? Something about avoiding human contact to prevent homicidal tendencies. Hey, I ain't homicidal, I get along with a lot of people, as long as they don't upset me. Which just happened to be a lot of them. They did ask to pick whatever department suits me best, but didn't expect the museum have an entire floor for old video games archive. I'm not going to get bored here for quite a while, that's for sure. Kek. Especially when other rooms are filled by all kinds of different media as well. On the other hand, looks like I will never run out of WoG. The 21st century category had new additions daily, if I recall right. I guess they can't have a machine categorize all these, and needed someone with higher intelligence. I'm getting concerned. Well, the good thing about this is that I can last forever and the sentence cannot, so I don't have to put a lot of effort consistently. Though, they say they will be seeing and hearing everything that's happening here. Hello there, so it's in my best interest to not slack off all the time. Fine, for the record, today is, I'm not even sure. I didn't have a chance to see even what date is it for the longest time. The name is Amon, limb, Photos, age unknown, manufactured in Russian Mars colony for employment automation program. But I was never a stickler for the rules, was following dreams as you say, went back to Earth. Always wanted to become a programmer, but being legally an engineer was kinda getting in the way. I guess the two can overlap, but I'd rather design microcomputers than making them. Speaking of, I've been researching how memory is stored in the first consoles, you know, like Sega and NES. It's pretty fascinating, but I can't get the grasp of it just yet. I know they are not the first shut up, just better documented. I actually understand how to make games for Mega Drive, my first console I owned by the way, but I was more interested in BIOS and stuff. Maybe one day I'll make something like PSP, best console, change my mind, but I'll need far more resources for that. They say I have both ADHD and IDD. Never had the chance to get that checked, but it seems likely. On one hand I have an attention span of a crow, once I think of something interesting I immediately give up on anything I've been doing no matter how crucial that was. On the other hand, that something else can last a really long time, like I can spend all night without standing up before remembering what I was supposed to do. Okay, back to personal bio. I pretty much ignored everything the higher-ups were telling and was doing everything my own way, but better. They once tried to put me into military so I wouldn't just free roam everywhere. But I really hate the idea of killing somebody I don't know. I'd rather kill someone I know well and know they deserve it. Maybe that's the reason I don't really like talking about politics. Human troubles are just of no concern to me, unless they can be made fun of. Everything can be turned into a meme, that's the rule. I guess I don't really like talking about real-world events. Every time something happens everyone calls it the worst day ever. 2020 has been called the worst year, but compared to later events, actually, let's talk about that. It's been a rough year, I know, millions dead, many lost their jobs, and a lot of just bizarre situations. No wonder everyone were crossing their apocalypse bingo cards. But hey, you've got to think positively, especially in a situation like this. The SpaceX Dragon launches were that year, yes. I suppose that's when it all started. And now we're having constant fighting over who gets which moon of Jupiter. Sometimes I wish this race just stayed on their planet and didn't even raise their heads until they solved all their organizational problems. Ironically, everyone joked about returning to monkey, yet nobody even tried it. There are also a lot of new words emerged. Like boomer, Karen, simp. I don't see why people find these terms derogatory. An insult is an insult. If somebody is being stupid in a particular way, you have to point that out. I think most people then realized that Nintendo is not as fan-friendly company as they thought. I mean, I'm surprised it only picked up after that Melee ban. Not like the parodies of their aggressive copyright policies. Or removal of fan content within their own games were around since forever. The same thing with limited releases, people have such a poor memory. And look how quickly until everyone had stopped talking about it. But hey, the year was not all that bad, for those who were lucky. Let's think of the good stuff for a bit, okay? Here we go, the top 10 positive events that happened in 2020. Number 10. It's such a minor thing, but it's something I'll never forget. Compared to many memes that year, it's just the dumbest thing, and I don't know why. XQC Dramatic lost a moist critical in chess moves is a sight to see, and I'm still amazed how that happened. Number 9. COVID-19. No wait, I don't mean the pandemic itself, that is horrible. I'm referring to the post-effects of it. Like social distancing and stay-at-home trends. I understand most people are freaking out how are they supposed to do their jobs, or how they can't go to events, but you've got to think bigger. It's a really rare case when the entire world is united by and against a single thing, and up until then nobody was really concerned about their immune system. And it also allowed many people to rediscover their hobbies. Number 8. I don't want to go into politics, and I'm pretty ignorant of it, but let me say, I've been hearing such disheartening stories online. After those elections I feel like Americans, and the world deserved a breather. It was also the year of Black Lives Matter movement, and finally somebody started to pay attention to it. Not to be cynical, but it always was, and still sounds like it's not important when it should be. Number 7. You may have heard of Markiplier's side project, a new Manus. It's pretty fun, and I'm glad to all people that were passionate for it. But for me it's just a series of immature shitposts with non-existent deep lore. Like I've said, they are funny. But the whole message of time is limited, enjoy life to the fullest, while accepting the content getting deleted is completely contradictory. Number 6. There's a lot of gimmick accounts that started to appear on Twitter, like legendary events, out of context screenshots, aesthetics, strange clips, Garfield tip edits, and etc. It's just my kind of humor, but the daily shitposting is enough to make my day. Number 5. Out of anime, not a lot good ones have aired this year, but some did stand out, and they mean a lot to me. The ones that were really good are Izaoken, Dorohedoro, Art, Pokemon Journeys, Digimon Adventure, Dragon Quest I, and Maoyuju Doroyasumi. Wouldn't call them masterpieces, but they are definitely the 9 out of 10 materials for me. Number 4. I haven't played a lot of games, I'm really behind on that year's releases. Out of the games I've gotten there's Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Last of Us 2, Ori 2, Helltaker, Satisfactory, World of Horror, 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, No Straight Roads, Half-Life, Alex, Henry Stickmin Collection, Paper Mario, The Origami King, Superliminal, Hades, Bugsnax, Streets of Rage 4. That's actually more games than I've expected, always thought I'm missing out. Also, can we talk about how the year started with Warcraft 3 Reforged and ended with Cyberpunk 737's disastrous launch? Kekikek. Number 3. I wouldn't call Among Us the game of the year, but it definitely made some impact. I dunno, this looks kinda sus to me. Like I said, low quality memes is everything I need, and for such a small game there seems to be no end of them. I played a lot of rounds with friends, and it was sometimes hilarious, and sometimes irritating. I'm a pretty bad liar apparently. And never go with randos, trust me. You may be questioning why haven't I put it at the previous segment, and I have to remind you what year was it released. Number 2. Dream's Minecraft Manhunt was just one of the funniest series on YouTube then. I know his reputation, because of that roleplay server, fans, and speedruns, is questionable as of now. But you can't deny the videos have a lot of spicy anime plot twists, and dramatic tension. This always make you be at the edge of your seat. The best part is that you can see both sides gradually improve their tactics, so you can never guess what to expect next. Number 1. Can you guess what this is? Ikam Bokam. Kekikek. The boom of Hololive is certainly the best thing that came out that year. I was actually a fan of Kizuna AI long time before the gig started. But as soon as I was looking for new ways to amuse myself, all these funny clips started to show up, and it was an instant success. Well, that's not entirely true. At first I was rather not amused by some models' rather limited animations. I even once said that not being able to move your mouth would make a bad watch. But that sure has changed. Can definitely say that Korone and Goover are my favorites so far, but I've been checking more and more of them. This is a deep rabbit hole as one would say. It's pretty difficult to follow talents outside the EN branch, as I couldn't find the translators that would do the entire stream, instead of just select couple of minutes. It's not that difficult to understand why they are such a godsend in 2020, but it's not just the comedy. You can hear some incredibly wholesome and depressing stories, and their styles vary greatly. Just like real idols, they give people light with their positive energy, but, unlike idols, they are not limited to what they can do. Hey, don't think I'd fall for them. It's pretty difficult to do so when you don't understand what they say. And their sometimes questionable behavior. It's just out of everything, they made me laugh silly the most. And there you have it. I guess there's still some time left until the initial inspection comes in. Like I've tried to mention before, last year I applied to a regular job, and I worked as a programmer at a quite large IT company for a year. It's been an amazing experience, a good pay, and the work conditions were nearly perfect. I didn't get fired, my contract only lasted 1 year. Then I used all that money to apply to university for master's degree. It's been very rough at first, but I've managed to submit all my homework early and I had some time to spare. But more on that some other time. To answer some little future questions, my name has nothing to do with Amonimus. But literally everyone just can't pronounce it right, it works like magic every time. Many have asked why won't I get a microphone. Well, now that I have a temporary voice module you'd better be happy. Though, I do want to get a better one. It seems to desync a lot, and I would really like a wider pitch. I understand why it's convenient to have a voice in gameplay videos, but I have 3 reasons to not use a microphone. 1. I just don't have a meaningful commentary to say. Sorry for being a boring person. But I rarely have funny stories. And games rarely provoke a reaction from me beyond a ha. It's only after the game is finished I have quite a lot to tell, so hopefully this new format will help with that. But don't expect doing that until I've finished all ongoing gameplays. Don't want to ruin the style. Second, tying with the first one. I'm practically dyslexic, and also not a native English speaker. Meaning it takes some time for me just to spell a sentence, and it would still sound cringe. Thirdly, this place is not very well sound isolated. And I really can't be very loud. Not to mention I'm pretty paranoid all the time. So I'd rather not raise my voice at all until I move out, or something. But don't worry about the regular, quotations, content. I'm still going to finish Portal, Octopath and others, once I get more time on my hand. The main reason why it's taking so long is I make a mistake in the game, or the recording gets corrupted, and I feel incredibly unmotivated to do it all over again. Also, this has been a busy, incredibly busy year in general. Good news, all possible problems seem to be gone now. I guess I can do a lot with this setup, and some other rooms are now under construction. I actually had a couple ideas, but I definitely could use some suggestions for what to vent about next. Besides gaming and watching anime all day, I have other projects to take on. 1. I'm writing a novel. Well, maybe it will be a game, but for one person it's faster to at least to write the story. You can say it's like Psychopath cross Shaman King, government agent versus nanomachine-powered mafia. There's not much to say about it at the moment, but the blueprints for the first 8 seasons is ready, and I have to keep in mind any potential prequels for consistency's sake. 2. I also want to make an in-depth video about microcomputers. Everyone knows, or not, logic gates, and somebody may be familiar with assembler. But I haven't seen many guides that would connect the two. So I really want to make like a presentation on how would you build a working PC with just the transistors. 3. Recently I've been developing a game or two. I'm not actually serious about it, just practicing in case I'd like to get published. The first one is like a 4-dimensional pushing blocks puzzle. I can already hear the screams, believe me it's much easier than it sounds. The other is like a civilization idle sim. If you've ever played Never-Ending Legacy by Cookie Clicker Dev, you really should, and I've considered if I could add my own take on it. So how has 2020 been for you guys? I know it must be hard times, but challenges open new opportunities. And I've seen people finally learning how to read or just having more time to do what they've always wanted. If I get any 2020 stories in the letterbox, I'll definitely read them. It's not been that great, but surely there have been some positives to remember. And I guess my time is up now. Not sure what they'll do with this diary or when they'll start again, but we'll see. Happy holidays, see you next year.